1 Kings 17. The prophet and the ravens. Elijah walked right up to King Ahab and gave him some shocking news. As surely as the Lord lives, there will be no dew or rain in the next few years except at my word. Because Ahab was worshipping the fake god Baal, God showed him who was really in charge of the weather. To keep Elijah safe from the angry king, God sent him to a small brook called Cherith. There were no grocery stores nearby, so God did a miracle. He sent ravens to bring Elijah bread and meat every morning and evening. When the brook finally dried up because of the drought, God sent Elijah to a poor widow in Zarephath. She only had a tiny bit of flour and oil left for one last meal. But Elijah told her, "Don't be afraid. God says your jar of flour and jug of oil will never run out until the rain comes." And it didn't. Every day, there was just enough for one more loaf of bread. God even used Elijah to bring the widow's son back to life, showing that he has power over everything, even life and death. 1 Kings 18. The showdown on Mount Carmel. After 3 years of no rain, the land was brown and dusty. God told Elijah, "Go show yourself to Ahab." When they met, Ahab called him the troubler of Israel. But Elijah replied, "I haven't troubled Israel. You have, by following fake gods." Elijah challenged the 450 prophets of Baal to a god contest. On Mount Carmel, 2 altars were built. Elijah said, "You pray to your God, and I will pray to mine. The God who answers by fire, he is God." All day long, the prophets of Baal danced and shouted, but nothing happened. Elijah even teased them, saying, "Maybe your God is sleeping or on vacation." Then Elijah did something bold. He soaked his altar with 12 large jars of water until it was drenching wet. He prayed a simple prayer, and suddenly fire fell from heaven. It burned up the wood, the stones, the soil, and even licked up all the water. The people fell on their faces and shouted, "The Lord, He is God." Then Elijah went to the top of the mountain to pray for rain. He sent his servant to look at the sea 7 times. On the 7th time, the servant saw a tiny cloud the size of a man's hand. Soon, the sky turned black, the wind blew, and a massive rainstorm began. Elijah was so full of God's power that he tucked his cloak into his belt and outran Ahab's chariot all the way back to the city. God is the only one who can truly answer by fire and send the rain, whether it's feeding a prophet with birds or winning a giant contest on a mountain. God shows us that when we stand up for what is right, He stands up for us. Don't be afraid to be the only one on God's side with Him. You're always the majority. Jezebel is furious that Elijah defeated her prophets, and she sends a message, "I'm going to get you." Elijah gets scared and runs all the way to a cave in the desert, where he's about to hear God's voice, not in a wind or an earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. Read 1 Kings chapters 19 and 20.